bigger is always better. Just think about all the venues as a dad or as a granddad or even as a youngster growing up. You have these occasions where it's marriage, a child is born, there's something with school. There's always somebody asking you, hey, could you maybe barbecue something for us? And that is the ultimate assignment for dads, to take out their smoker and start barbecuing. And of course it starts with a trip to the butcher to get the right piece of meat. A nice thick sliced brisket, for instance. But sometimes you just want to make something for you and your family. Something that is not going to be leftovers for the rest of the week. And I think I found just that thing. Recently we butchered one of my neighbor's cows. It's a crossbreed between a Holsteiner cow and a black Angus bull. And I went to my local butcher, Gert-Jan van der Horst, and we carved it out together. All of the pieces looked really good, but one was exceptionally good. And that part comes from the leg of the cow and is beautifully marbled. I'm talking about this right here. Look at that marbling. Look at that. It looks like Wagyu. Let's get it out of the package and take a closer look. In barbecue world, we call this piece the beloved Trisket. But really what it is a tri-tip that is good enough to be smoked like a brisket. Because it has a beautiful amount of intermuscular fat, which is going to make it juicy and tender. And at the same time you have plenty of flavor from the beef, because it's a working piece of beef that has got so much exercise that it's got lots and lots of flavor in it. And I can honestly say that I've never, ever saw a tri-tip look this good unless it was Wagyu. Now my neighbor is locally famous for treating his cattle a little bit too good, kind of spoiling it. And that is what we see right here. Wow. But that's probably where all the good news stops, because this piece of meat, cooking it like a brisket and having it turn out perfect, it ain't that easy. The first step is to smoke this meat, and therefore I will be using the Apollo smoker. The Apollo smoker is basically a vertical smoker that operates like an old-fashioned smokehouse, which is very comparable to the smoke flavor profile that you get from an offset smoker. Then the way that I'm setting it up is with the Minion method. I'm going to put in some briquettes and a fire starter in the center, and then it will start to burn slowly from the inside outwards. I'm also going to put on 2 chunks of smoke wood and slowly let it come up to a temperature of around 120 degrees Celsius. I kind of am specifically choosing this style of barbecue because of the smoke flavor profile. You see, if you got a big piece of meat, you got lots of times to put on a bark and get that smoke flavor in. But with a small piece of meat, it's going to probably be done cooking before you even get a bark on. So let's get that Trisket ready. On the meat side, I'm going to sprinkle on a little bit of Texas barbecue seasoning. And on the fat side, I'm just going to carve into it and put some salt on it. I'm going to smoke it with the fat cap pointing towards the fire so that all of the radiation heat is captured by the fire. Let's lock it in. And this is an important step, because when you put that fat cap in between the heat source and the meat, well, it's the perfect natural form of protection. The fat's going to render down, the meat's going to cook slowly, and if the fat's rendered down fully, we can always turn it around. I will be smoking this Trisket for about an hour and a half before I check it. And with a temperature of around 120 degrees Celsius for smoking, it should go nice and gently. Then it's time to take it off and stick in a thermometer so we... Oh, look at that. Wow, that looks so good. Well, I also need to keep track of that temperature, so I'm going to stick in a wireless thermometer from Chef Temp. Just slide it in. Make sure it's in the center though. And yes, of course, I could have a more pronounced bark, but hey, it might also turn out to be a little bit too much. Got some butcher's paper, I got a little bit of molten beef tallow, and I'm just gonna lay that out right here on the paper. I'll only need a little bit just to help the paper get started. The meat's gonna do the rest of the work, but still, this is a delicate small piece of meat. I'm gonna put this on. I got the fat cap still pointing downwards. So let's wrap this up. Get it nice and snug. There we go. This is now ready to go back on the barbecue. Normally I would just now relax and not think about it for a couple of hours because it needs its time. However, with a small piece like this, it might suddenly go really fast. So I'm going to keep my eye on the temperature and make sure it doesn't rise up too fast. Because if you want to have tender meat, you also have to give it time to slowly break down. And that factor time is very important. If I'm under 2.5 hours, it's not going to be good. If I'm over 2.5 hours, I'm in the safe zone. But with a small piece, I don't want to go over like 6 hours or so. It's just 1.2, 1.3 kilograms. So that's not much. And with a core temperature of 94 degrees Celsius, it's time to take it off. Our miniature brisket. Careful, because that is actually really hot. Now I'm gonna put it in my cooler and keep it there nice and warm. Now normally with a brisket I would just take it out and leave it out for a while so that the brisket actually gets a time to cool down a little bit, or at least stop cooking. Now with this, I'm not worried about that. We only have this miniature version of a brisket, and if I put it in my cooler, well, it's going to take up enough energy to warm up this big cooler. So in about 2 hours time, we should have the perfect brisket. Well, Trisket, miniature brisket. This is my favorite moment, unboxing time. Let's get it out. Ooh, nice, warm and steamy still. I'm really curious. Let's open this up without further ado. Okay, it's go time. This thing looks absolutely fantastic. And I squeezed it already and it's super soft. It's almost fall apart tender. But the amount of juices that are on this thing are just insane. All right, let's slice into this. This is exactly like a miniature brisket. Wow, this is insane. We got the most beautiful smoke ring, the fat rendered down to perfection, and it's pulled apart tender. It's super, super soft. This would be a dream scenario for any brisket. And I think the total time is we like smoked it for about an hour and a half. Then we did 3 hours of packed, and then another 2 hours in the cooler. So that's a total of 6.5 hours of cooking time, which is absolutely nothing. And it went so fast and so smart. It's like, so basically any day you're gonna get something really delicious. You don't have to get up early. It's all chill and relaxed. I kind of like that in barbecue. Now let's do a taste test and figure out what it tastes like. Oh, the right word is succulent. You can break it up with your tongue. It's super smooth. It's very delicate and it tastes really good. It's nice and beefy still. I got a little bit of smoke flavor, but not overpowering. I'm glad I wrapped it up when I did. So if you wonder, should I make a Trisket or a miniature brisket? Yes, the answer is yes. Make the Trisket. You're gonna be happy, you're not gonna get disappointed, but make sure you get a good quality one. Make sure that you have one that has enough marbling in the meat. That is the only challenge that you're gonna be getting today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, then leave us a big thumbs up and a comment down below.